Hi guys, it's your girl Phranji here and you're welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be a glitter like eyeshadow type of makeup. So stick and stay and enjoy the video, and I'll see you at the end of the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So I start by brushing in my brows, and I go in with a brown pencil by taking the shape of my eyebrows, drawing it and filling it in, and I move to the other side of my brow, and I also draw and fill it in as well. I make sure I draw and fill it in. I don't draw too much, but I do the filling of the brows so that it looks as natural as possible. So I continue with the filling in, just like that. I just do a refill. I'll brush it in now. Then I'll move to the concealer. A concealer that is a bit lighter, that will make my eyebrows pop. I clear beneath my eyebrow. Then after I'm done, I make sure I bring the concealer down a bit so that I can blend it in after I'm done. Then it makes it look natural and blended as possible. So I'm just coming in with the concealer down a bit, as I mentioned. I'll drag it down, and afterwards I'll just pick my brush and I'll blend it all in. I'll blend it all in smoothly and nicely. I'll make sure everything is blended. I'll keep going. I'll blend it in. I'll keep doing that until I see that the concealer is, fading and it's looking as natural as possible. Then I'll move to my eyes now. I will go in with my eye primer. Primer will serve as a base to make my eyeshadow come out well. And also stay on my eyes for a longer period. So the same way you use your makeup primer for your face, that's the same way I'm using an eye primer for my eyelids so that the eyeshadow pops. So that's the use of the eye primer. Then let's start with the eyeshadow, but before that we have to blend it in with a transitioning color. That is a brown color. We'll blend it in a bit with the eyeshadow primer so it looks natural as possible and won't have any harsh lines. So I'm going in with a brown, in with my brown eyeshadow as a transitioning color. Then I move to the other side of my eyes. Then I'll blend it in very well, to make it smooth and natural as possible. Then I'll start, when I notice that they are all blended in, I move to the eyeshadow. So now I'll be choosing the purple color as the first color that is going at the side of my eye, the inner corner of my eye. That's where it's going. So I start with that. Then I pat it on my eyelids. I make sure I pat it well because I already used the primer as a base. It lets the eyeshadow come out very well and popping. So that's what I'm doing. I'm popping on the purple eyeshadow. I'm doing it as much as possible, not too loud, but in between. Then I move in with the lighter pink, in the inner corner. I've already done the outer corner. I'm doing the inner corner. This with the light pink, from the palette, the Issa Dose palette. Then I pat it on my eyes, just like that. I'll make sure I pat it very well. I'll continue patting it on until I get it's matching with the purple I already used. Then after I'm done patting it on, I go in with my brown, transitioning eyeshadow I used earlier to blend it in, to make it, uniform with no harsh lines. I go in with that. Then I go in with my eye primer. I'm about to use an eye glitter on the eyeshadow. So we know how glitters are. If you don't use something that will stick it on, it won't work, it will fall off. So that is the eye lid primer I'm using for my eye glitter. Then after it's already on my lids, and I go with my brush and pick the glitter on my eyes. So that's what I'm doing. So you can see a shimmery sort of, you know, something going on my eyelids now. That is the Evita glitter. That's what I'm using on. So I have a bit of purple and pink and a glitter on there, and it's popping, and you know, it's very beautiful. So I already did the other side of my eye off camera since I already showed you the first one. So I'm applying my primer on my face now. Then because I want my makeup to last, because I was going out, I would go in with my setting powder on top of the primer, because I tend to sweat on my cheeks and my nose and mouth. So I will just use that. Then I'll pat it all on the areas that I applied the primer. Yes, then we'll move from there on to the foundation. So with the foundation, I'll be using the Zikel foundation. Yes, then I'll go in with about 4 to 5 pumps. I don't do too much. Yes, so I'll just pat it on my face, about 4 or 5 pumps. Then I'll be good to go. Then I go in with my don't mind me dancing. I'll go in with my foundation brush, and I really love this foundation brush. It's able to get the work done and is able to blend well as well. As I'm blending in, and I'll make sure I blend it all down to where my earrings are, my chin. I continue blending it in. I dab it to my chin area, my ears, and I make it moving smoothly so that it blends with your face as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm blending thoroughly. I'm making sure I blend very, very well before my concealer comes to set on my face as well. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Go in now with my Morphe C455 as a base. Then my Maybelline, which is a shade higher than the Morphe, on top of it to make it pop a bit. Then I make sure that everything sits on as well before I start blending in. So let's start blending in. So now I go in with my beauty blender, which I sprayed on with my setting spray to make the blend beautiful and seamless. I blend it in and I stay at one place to make it beautiful, and you know, it comes out well when the color comes on. So I keep on blending for a seamless finish. I blend it in very well. I go down, move to the other side of my face, and I continue to dab and blend it in very well. And I move to this side of my face, and I also do the same thing, blend it in smoothly and nicely before I would try to come in with my compact powder. Yes. So let's move to the compact powder. Compact powder comes in. I normally use it before I move in with my translucent powder. This makes the contouring easier and smoother. So I go in with my Adventure compact powder. I let it sit for a minute. Then I move to my translucent powder. With my blush, and I'm using the same blush on my Issa Dose eyeshadow palette. That's what I'm using. Yes. So that it makes the makeup complete and beautiful. So after I'm done applying my blush, I now come in with my powder, as I mentioned, my translucent powder. Because the first one I used was the compact powder, and I'm done with the compact powder. So I'm moving in with my translucent powder from Black Opal. Everything will be in the description box so that you can use it if you want to. I come in with my MAC Mineralized Powder to blend it in everything to make it smooth and nice, to make everything sit on very well. And now that I'm done, I go with my setting spray, and this makes everything sit on your face beautifully and blends in well as well. So now it's all dried up. I come back in with my MAC powder to blend it in a bit. Then I go in with my brown pencil to shape my lips a bit. And after I'm done shaping, I go in my classic brown Lippie, and I also use it to overline my lips as well. So I come in with my classic brown lipstick. So with the classic brown Lippie, I do the down part to move to the upper lips. I overline that as well, bring it down, fill it in. Then I move in with my nude lipstick as well. I apply just a bit, then I come in with my lip gloss, which I'll use to blend it in. Then I'll close in my mouth and make it all blend in as well. So now time to review the final look of the tutorial, guys, and I hope you loved every bit of it. Come back for more and subscribe. Mwah.